Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Success Talks with Coach T. Mungate. This is a show designed to inspire and motivate you with real-life stories of those people that have made it in life, and also a show to equip and to empower you with the different tools that one needs to achieve success in different areas of life. And I am your host, Coach Tendai Mungate. Please do like, share, and comment on this particular broadcast. With me today on the show is, I'm sure you're familiar with his face. Yes, I think we've seen him on our television screens, especially in Zimbabwe. He is an award-winning gospel musician, transformational coach, model, actor, presenter, author, motivational speaker, and also voiceover artist. Hey, it keeps going and going, you know. Yeah, but he also holds the record of being the youngest news anchor in Zimbabwean history. That's right. Amazing. Yeah, he is the visionary and founder of Men on Call. Yes, Mr. Jefferson Muserera, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
It's an honor. So, Mr. Pastor, or should we use that?
Jeff,
anything. All right. So, yeah. Pastor, please do share with us. Maybe there are some viewers who are seeing you for the first time.
Right.
Who you are and maybe how your journey started.
Okay.
You know, because you've got this so many talents.
Right,
you know,
right.
So how did that move to that? Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So basically, the exciting thing. You've said I think the bulk of the stuff, but I think I'm humble to say that everything that has happened or is happening in my life, or the things that I'm doing, I credit mostly to the great I Am for opening those opportunities and doors. It's always a problem when one can do a number of things. Which master you're going to be a master of which one? So I think what I thank God for is I've managed to be able to be effective in a number of things in different ways, and I've managed to impact life. I think one of the things that really encompasses me as a person is what impact I can give through what I can do. I believe God gives a talent or a gift for the sake of what you can do with it for other people. Exactly. So I think that's what has helped me to be able to impact other people, because the motive is what's important when you're gifted or talented in certain areas. Yeah. So basically, I can say I'm a go-getter. I'm a big dreamer. I'm a modern day Joseph. I think every time I address or I'm preaching or doing something, I normally like to say the statement that I'm a billionaire. Although I'm not really a billionaire, but I've spoken the word ahead, in time, so that I do understand that the words you speak have a lot of power in making sure that a lot of things become fruitful.
Wow, that's amazing. And I think you can agree with me that your journey started off at a very young age of 16. Please take us through that journey, how it started. I think that was the modeling journey,
right,
if I'm not mistaken.
Exactly.
Yes.
Very
Please
true.
take us through how that started and how it unfolded for you to then become, the man who was on TV,
right,
billboards and things like that.
Very interesting, yeah. At school, I think 16, I was still at school, or I just finished my O-levels. And I was always known to be the smart boy at school. Smart in terms of dressing. Not that I was down the other side. I was also smart, but smart in terms of the dressing and so forth. I always try to make sure that the tie is in position, the socks are right in position, and etc. So I got an opportunity to model in a schools contest, the school Mr. and Miss Schools Harare. So when I did so, I managed to become Mr. Schools Harare, and from there on, I got a contract with the modeling agency to get trained as a professional model. So it started off at that young age, and when I got the training, I was quite effective because I grew passionate about it. I'd never planned to become a model, but it's something that I think destiny meets you somewhere and takes you where it's supposed to take you. So at that moment, that's when the journey began at 16, and I got into the modeling industry. Then the first advert basically came because of a person that saw me in town every day. I think it's one point that a lot of people out there need to gather to say that every time you leave your house, it's very important to make sure you look at yourself. How am I dressed? Right? Because dress as you'd like to be addressed. Right. So I really felt that, I would always make sure that every time, even though I was that young, I would make sure that I try to be on point with whatever I'm wearing. So someone was noticing me. I passed through their shop every other day. One day they sent the salesperson to come through and say, right, can you call the young man into the shop? I go in and say, I've been watching you for over a month, and I've noticed that you're always dressing well. Would you like to do an advert for me? That was the first job I got as a model. Yeah, so I can say basically that's how it started.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So from there, how then did you get to be on the billboards, and then just take us through this.
All right.
That process.
The billboards journey, it was never easy. Modeling industry is one that's very difficult, very competitive. You've got the who's and who's coming from all over saying I'm the one, and you go for an advert. Maybe you want to try and get a contract, and they're doing a casting and so forth. Castings, you normally meet more than 100, 200 people, and maybe they just want 2-3 people. So it's a matter of confidence that really took me through. I think I managed to gather a lot of confidence thanks to my dad, who's also a minister of the word. He groomed me a lot in terms of being smart and also having confidence. So I was groomed from a very young age. So I think the confidence part helped me to get jobs. And I can say the breakthrough came especially when I did a campaign for HIV and AIDS, World AIDS Day. I managed to get a contract to be one of the models that would partner with the WHO in terms of doing adverts to inform people, young people, about the dangers of HIV and AIDS and so forth, and what they need to do and so forth. So I think when I got that contract, that's when things started to shoot, because I did a TV commercial, I did billboards, I did magazines and newspaper print and so forth. So I think that's when the journey really began, and then all these other big names came through, after. Yeah, so I think it's all accredited to the training that I got. As much as one can be confident and skilled in a certain area, but it's also important to get training. Training helps you also to be very much aligned in terms of when you go for a casting, what should you do and so forth, how you should handle yourself as a model. There are a lot of people that call themselves models, but they're not models.
Wow. That's amazing, and I'm liking that. That the journey is it was unfolding itself. As you were going, as you were developing yourself as well.
Right.
Yeah. So, Mr. Pastor, I'm sure this journey there are challenges. Please just share with us some of the challenges that you faced and how you overcame them.
Right, being the son of a pastor, the first thing I had to convince my father. That was the biggest challenge, the first biggest challenge. I had to convince him that I want to do modeling, and to get him to agree to say, okay, because parents, they've got dreams for their kids as well. They, I wish you can do this, you can become this, and so forth. And I was like, Dad, you know what? I discovered this thing called modeling, and it's exciting for me. I think I can do this thing, and I can do it big. So one thing about my dad, he says, okay, if you want to do this, you convince me by how successful you become in it. So I had to make sure that whatever I did in the industry, I had to achieve something. Yeah, so I think I was also Mr. Youth Zimbabwe. It should be in 2002 or 2001, somewhere there, which was held in ZANU-PF headquarters, and it was another break for me to get to be recognized. Say, okay, that's Mr. Youth Zimbabwe at such a young age, and the challenges came with having to finance. When you're a model, you need to finance, at times your own clothes. You need to transport to go to the next show, the next fashion show. And etc. At times in Zimbabwe, unfortunately, payments come late. So you have to fund everything before the payment comes. So I think in terms of financially, it was very difficult to go through. But, I had to fight through and make sure that I managed to get something good.
All right. That's amazing. Yeah. I'm sure viewers are learning from your journey, and you being a man of many gifts, I'm sure our viewers are curious, and I'm curious as well.
Right.
Being a man of many gifts, how do you? What is the importance of embracing these gifts? Number one, and also developing them. What is the importance of that?
Right. I'll just go back a bit by saying, I think one weakness that we have, as parents, I'm now a parent, that we might have in Africa is to say, when we identify a gift in a child, we're not quick to develop it. We say, write your O levels, pass, go to A level, pass, go to university, pass, so rather, someone is skilled in a certain area, maybe they could have finished their O levels and, pursued that career and become, better and made more money rather than to then go to A level and university and so forth. So why I'm saying so is I'm grateful to my parents, because they were very supportive. I had a very strong support system in what I did, although I had to convince them that I'm good at this. So luckily I managed to do that. So I think the importance of embracing and then developing the skills that you actually have is, at times people pick one and say, okay, let me pick this so that I'm a master of one at least and so forth. But I think with me, it was not easy, I don't want to lie, because having to try and being a master of all is not easy. We all know that, and I cannot necessarily say that I've overachieved, in terms of my career. I still have a lot of ambitions that I have and things that I wish, I can be able to achieve in my career and so forth. But embracing basically is crucial, because you need to understand this is who I am. Right? If this is who I am, if you're passionate about it and you take charge of it, you're definitely going to be successful in it. So one of the things that people do is they are just focused on, I can do this, but they have not embraced it. They don't have the passion for it. They are not developing the skills. It's automatically happening, which is why I say that people will say I'm a model, maybe because they were told you're handsome or you're beautiful, you're tall and so forth. Yeah, exactly. And then automatically I'm a model. So it's not as easy as that. I was privileged to have modeled in South Africa at some point, and being there, I understood that you can come from another place and think I've done well. You go to another place and they tell you you're still starting. So exposure is also very important in terms of developing yourself. So being exposed to certain places, certain people is very, because if you want to be successful in certain thing, you need to do things that you've never done. Because if I'm going to be a guru in the modeling industry, I cannot continue doing the same thing and expect different results. So I need to make sure that I expose myself to new platforms, to new people, and etc., which is what I did in terms of how I embraced it and developed the skills in different areas of where I was talented. So I'm grateful to God, because it was something that he had to take, being a listener, having a coach of your own. I think in all these areas I picked someone who I said, right, I need a mentor in the modeling industry. I need a mentor in terms of television. I need a mentor in terms of coaching and all those things. So I had to look for someone that I would admire and, I value their skills, and get a mentor to develop I think that's what really helped me.
Wow. So we have got mentorship, and we have got stepping out of the comfort zone,
Exactly.
because you mentioned about, you not doing the same thing over and over again,
Exactly.
which is defined as insanity.
Exactly. Definitely.
So and I'm sure viewers are learning from that. Viewers, we are going to take a short break, and we are in studio with Pastor Jefferson Muserera, yes, and we are learning from his journey. So remember to keep liking, sharing, and commenting on this particular broadcast. This is Success Talks with Coach T. Mungate, and our guest today is dressed by Bachelor's Republic. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very much for staying tuned in to the show. I'm in studio with Pastor Jefferson Muserera, and hoping that you are sharing and commenting on this particular broadcast. Pastor, before the break, you were talking about the importance of developing your gifts. Right. And now, I've since realized this, that for gifted people, it's not only about having the gift.
Right.
There are some things that one has to work on, in order for them to become successful with their gift. What would you say are the top 3 let's put it at 5.
Okay.
5 things you feel one should develop, in order for them to, for that gift to also make room for them, other than having the gift. What are the other things they need to work on?
Right. Jesus Christ was a gift to the world. He gave the biggest gift, which is a sacrifice. You need to sacrifice. He sacrificed, we still talk about it 2,000 years, more than 2,000 years later. So I really feel that sacrifice, in a lot of things, you need to be able, don't always win. You're not always going to win. There are times you're going to give, so that later you receive, So I believe I gave Jesus as the first biggest example because he sacrificed. So when you are able to sacrifice, I believe that the things that you get later and the fruits that you get are going to be much bigger. Then number 2, you need character. I really feel that character is very important because there are a lot of people. I'll give reference to the Bible because that's my manual for living. So I really feel a lot of people did so well in the Word of God, but there will always be a but. So forth, son of so forth and so forth, died at so many years. Look at every other king that served God. If their child would not serve God right, if that king had served for 40 years, their child would probably serve for 2 years because of their character. So you know that if you don't have character, your career is going to be shorter. If you don't have character, your success is very limited. So character, it grows the opportunities for growth. Yeah, so I really believe character is a key, number 2. Then number 3, patience. A lot of people have lost a lot of things because they want to rush to the next step. They want to grab the next big thing. They want to be the next big thing, and etc. So patience is very important. I mean, for now, I'm turning 38 this year, and I have. Over these years, I've had so many dreams to say, okay, by 30, I want to have done this, and then I'm waiting. By 35, I want to have done this, and then I'm waiting. Now I'm thinking by 40, I should have done this. So there's so many dreams you can have. You see your friends, they go places, they go to nations, they're doing things, they're buying cars, they're buying stands, and you're thinking, God, what is happening to me? You see the top 40 most influential young people in Zimbabwe, you're not there. you say, I'm going to be there next year. You look at the top 100, you think, 100. You think you will be missed there. You're not there. And you start thinking, so what is influence? Am I influential? But the issue is patience. And success is not only because people have recognized you. There are people that are very successful but are not recognized. So at times you can be a camera person, you can be a presenter like yourself, and people will look at other people and say, these are the best presenters. But there comes a point of time when the track record of what you've done over the years, people are going to look at it and say, over the years, this one has never been recognized. But look at their track record. So patience is very important. Wait for the right time, for the right opportunity, and I'm telling you, you'll definitely go far. Then number 4, I'm trying to find a right word to be a giver, right? If you're going to be a successful person, you need to seed. I know it doesn't it doesn't make sense to a lot of people, but I've worked or I've been with people that you ask them for simple favors. Can we work together? Can you help me do this? Can you do this? And tell you know what, for my stuff you pay. It's not a bad principle. Business is business, but I've understood over the years that when you seed, God will never be silent, because the more the seeds, the more the fruit. So at times we seed and we don't get fruit and we think, I'm wasting my time giving. Why should I continue giving? Because I'm never getting anything back. There are people that have invested a lot of their time, a lot of their resources, a lot of their gifts and talents, and they've never got anything back over a lot of years. Wait. Like I said before, be patient. But when you seed, I'm telling you, no seed goes. There's a Chinese tree. It's called a Chinese bamboo tree, if I'm not mistaken.
Chinese bamboo.
Yeah, you seed it today. You wait for 5 years. Until you see the first sign of life coming out.
Yeah,
and
it is said actually that the Chinese bamboo, for you have to water it every day for
every day and manure it
for
5
years before it pops out.
Exactly.
Yeah, imagine.
And when it pops out, in 6 weeks, it's a skyscraper. Yeah, it's probably like over 6 times taller than me. So understand this thing. a seed, if it takes longer, it means there's a bigger product that has to come out.
Wow.
Yeah. And then number 5, what one needs is a good environment. A good environment, probably putting it across to say, we're talking about friends, we're talking about the people you choose to be around you. You know, at times you can be around people that have got negative energy in a lot of things. You know, you are telling yourself, I'm going to make it. You know, Success Talks is going to be the biggest show in the world. I want to go international. I believe I've got the best producer. And somebody walks in and tells you, this is nonsense. Let me show you how it's done. You know, the right environment, at times people have had their dreams redefined by other people. But if you are not careful, you will live other people's dreams, yet God has given you your own. You could have started this dream and say, you know what, I want it to go far. But at the end of the day, God is going to align it according to how He wants it to be. But someone can come and try to redefine it to suit them. You understand what I'm saying? So it's very important to protect your environment, protect your... That's why at times when you get into a service, we say we want to create an atmosphere for miracles, an atmosphere for the presence of God. There has to be an atmosphere. I struggle to preach without worshiping God. You know, for me to preach well, I have to sing a worship song and really feel that I feel God is here now. So if I'm going to speak now, I'm not speaking. I'm just a vessel, because I cannot speak without having God being there. It means I'm speaking in the flesh. But if I'm going to be a good pastor, I need God to be there. And when I'm telling you, every time I'm in a service, I will not speak until I feel God. I will not speak until I felt that God is now here. Then I know when I open my mouth, it's God speaking. I'm not speaking. Because at times we've had a lot of times where people speak and don't allow God to speak. So they speak a message that's conducive for them, that's motivated towards what it can do for them, and not necessarily how it can help the person listening to it. So it's very important and crucial that your friends, you know, the people you choose to work with and so forth, they are the right people to be accompanied with. So those are the 5 things I can say. Work for me. Yeah.
And I'm sure our viewers are learning from this. I have nothing to add on to this other than that I'm actually learning from what you're sharing, and it's very powerful.
Yeah.
And maybe I don't know how to put it across.
Right.
Yeah, but moving on. You are also a gospel musician, award-winning.
Thank God.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe let's talk about your journey as a musician. Maybe our viewers would also be concerned how it started and where you are now. You know.
My music side, it goes back a number of years, because I started off as a worship leader from a very young age under a local church in Zimbabwe, and then I got an opportunity. I was identified by the late Joyce Simeti. She identified me from the church. We used to fellowship together, and she asked me to come and do backing vocals for her. She was the first, actually, if I'm not mistaken. Then from her, I had an opportunity to then sing with Pastor G. I sang with Pastor G for 5 years. I was his backing vocalist for 5 years, and that was a life-changing experience for me to work with him. He's an amazing man of God. He's my mentor in music, and I learned a lot from him, because the depth of his heart for God is amazing. When he worships, even when we would have, you know, rehearsals and so forth, I'm telling you, they were worship sessions, not rehearsals, because we would speak in tongues, would pray, would just lay bare in a worship session. The word would be spoken, God would speak. So I really learned a lot from the man, and I believe that was my defining moment in terms of gospel music. I've staged with a number of very well-known artists. I have staged with the likes of Baba Namai Charamba. I've staged with Tuku. At some point at Harare Gardens, I've staged with Ron Kennelly, one of the, BB Winans, the older brother. He came to Zimbabwe. I was one of the BBs. We were just chosen from people who were thought were good backing vocalists at the time. And we did a show with him at the HICC. So a number of big musicians that God has given me the grace to stage with, or to sing on the same stage with, and I'm really grateful to God for that. So coming to today, I then began my solo career in 2020 as a gospel musician, and it's just last year. So that's why I'm really grateful to God that I'm already an award-winning gospel musician. I won Best Newcomer at the Zimbabwe Community News Awards 2020 that were held earlier in the year. So I'm really grateful for that. And going furthermore, I'm actually nominated in the Maranatha Awards USA 2021. So I've got 3 awards I'm nominated for in music, and then the other one is in fashion. The other one is as a coach, and so I'm nominated in actually seven categories. The awards are happening this month of September. So hoping that I do fly the flag for Zimbabwe, and I become an ambassador for the nation. Yeah.
All right, that's amazing, and I'm sure our viewers are being inspired by your journey. Humble beginnings, and to then move to where you are now. Sure. Pastor, I know you are also a family man.
Right.
Yeah,
true.
you're a man with a family, and with all those gifts, how do you strike a balance between your family and the gifts? Because both require time. Yeah. So how do you strike a balance between the two? Because I'm sure there are viewers who are tuned in who might have families and things like that.
Yeah, I do get a lot of questions. The one I actually thought I'm normally usually asked is, you're a pastor, you're doing modeling, you're a pastor, and what does your wife say about that? And yeah, my wife is my best friend. And I think it has helped me in terms of all these other things that I do, and I always involve her in what I do. She knows where I am, what time I'm coming back, and etc. So I think for the fact that my wife is my best friend, it helps also to keep a balance in terms of what we do. We also minister together. My wife is a pastor. She's a mufundisi herself. We actually went to Bible school together. Yeah, although I was the best student, she was. Yeah, but we went to Bible school together. She's an amazing woman of God. So one thing about us is I respect her anointing. She respects my anointing. And together we are one anointing as a couple, because when two are joined, they become one flesh. So as one flesh, that's why I'm saying that in whatever I do, she's very updated that this is what's happening. And I've always understood that in whatever you do, maintain a good reputation. What has kept me relevant for so many years, people would say, you went to South Africa, and to be honest, by the time I went to South Africa, I was known as a model fine, but not as big as I am known now, because I became Male Model of the Year Zimbabwe in 2017. That's after I'd returned to Zimbabwe. I've won, I think up to now, about 6 awards in the modeling industry, and those awards I won them after I came back from South Africa, after I learned a lot more. So it took some time for me to learn a lot of skills, and for me, it's a privilege to walk in town, see my picture there, see a billboard there. At times, I even shy away. Yeah, I'm one person, to be honest with you. I don't like being called a celebrity. I prefer just being called Jeff. I take things very simple. I've seen a lot of celebrities. I think it's one area I thought I would touch before I finish this particular segment with you, to say a lot of celebrities put themselves in a lot of big trouble because they want to portray a picture to people that they're not. They want to show a life which they're not. So that pressure, it then puts them in a shell. They are vacuumed in a place where they have to keep impressing, such that at times they have to do controversial things for them to make money, or involve themselves with controversial people to make money. So I've understood I need to wait for my time. I'm not going to compromise whatever I do for the sake of a name. You understand what I'm saying? So whatever I do, I don't do it for the sake of having a name, but I do it for the sake of transforming lives. That's my main passion in life. If I die today without a mansion, but dying knowing that I've changed 1,000 lives, I'm a legend. Wow. Yeah, for me, that's me. Yeah.
That's amazing, Pastor. I'm sure you're a reader. Yes. And what would be the 3 books you'd recommend people to read that you feel are very much important?
Right. I don't know if I should talk about books per se, but I'll talk about authors. Okay, the first one is the Bible. Right. That's book number 1. Yeah. The people have to read that one. They definitely have to read that one. Number 2, I'm a very big follower of T.D. Jakes. He's an amazing writer, as much as he's an amazing speaker. He's written a lot of books that I feel are amazing. Number 3, Mr. Monroe, the late. Dr. Miles Monroe, amazing man. I mean, if you could be able to influence presidents, you know, he was an advisor to his own president in his nation, and he's a man of God, and you know, those are the things that I admire, to say if you are able to have impact. Even, I mean, I wouldn't mind one day being an advisor of the president of Zimbabwe. Why not? I mean, okay, one thing about me is I'm fearless. Okay, I'm very fearless, and I'm fearless because I'm a child of God. And the times in Zimbabwe, when you talk about a president, people politicize it. I'm not talking politics, but I'm talking influence. Yes. So at the end of the day, if God has chosen you to be influential, to be a person of transformation, then why not? If the door opens. So those are the 3. Yeah. I think if you can read anything from T.D. Jakes, read anything from Miles Monroe. I know there are more other writers I can talk about that I really believe are amazing. But for me, those 2 and the Bible, we're done. So I think if you go into the Bible, Apostle Paul would be the best writer. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for that. And it's been amazing having you on the show. We've been learning from your journey, and I'm sure viewers are learning. In the comments there, please do. Yeah, we are learning. And this marks the end of our show. Wow. And what would be your last words of advice?
I was just praying in my heart to say, please say that. What are your last words? I thought you were going to close. Thank you for giving me that opportunity. Yeah, no, thank you so much for inviting me to the show. It's been totally amazing. And to all the viewers out there, one thing competition is good, but competition is also dangerous, because competition is what has changed a lot of people. Competition is what has changed characters, changed personalities, changed reputations. So a lot of people say, no, compete to be seen as the winner. But what is really winning? I remember one Olympiad that I followed. I can't really remember his name. It's one of those Strokonov, Havanov, Mungatenov kind of names, you know. He says to one of the other competitors, I know today you're not going to win. He straight up says to the other Olympiad, I might win, but if I don't do my best, I don't feel like I've won. But if you are last and you've done your best, you're a winner. So competition, at times you might, if you compete with other people and you feel that you're always behind, at times a lot of people get discouraged or they give up. But if you compete in a sense that those that are ahead of you, you are learning from them, and if you are going to be always last and you're doing your best, one day you'll catch up. It's always like that way. And I always know that people that end up being ahead are people that give themselves a lot of time to learn. That's why we don't go from grade 1 to upper 6. You know, you can't say, they're so intelligent, so jump them to upper 6 straight. No, the child has to go to grade 2, grade 3 until they finish primary school. If they are a genius, maybe they will jump a couple of grades and so forth, but the process has to be done. So be competitive, but be careful of competition. It can change you. Those are my last words.
Be competitive. Wow. That's amazing. And thank you very much, Pastor.
Thank you, sir.
It was amazing having you on the show. And viewers, this marks the end of our show. And thank you very much for tuning in. And please do share this particular broadcast. And do like our social media pages. It's Success Talks with Coach T. Mungate on all social media platforms. And Pastor Jeff, what would be your social media pages?
Oh, all right. I always forget those. All right. If you want to find me on Instagram, it's Jefferson Muserera Official. Okay, let's just take it. Jefferson Muserera Official on all the platforms, Facebook, YouTube, as well as Instagram. You can find me. If it's on the music side, it's Jefferson Muserera Music Official. And definitely you can. And also Men on Call International. I cannot leave that one because it has been changing a lot of lives in terms of men and so forth. So that's where you can find me.
All right. That's fine. Amazing. Thank you very much. And do remember to subscribe to the channel that you are... That is bringing us this amazing show, the Dreams TV. And so from me, Coach Tendai Mungate, and the crew behind the scenes, the Dreams TV crew, this marks the end of our show. Thank you for tuning in. Success Talks with Coach T Mungate, and our guest today is dressed by Bachelor's Republic.